I'm always really interested to talk to fellow directors about their process. So I would love if you could share what your process is, particularly with working on Kill Move Paradise.
I start with why the play needs to be produced. What, for the audience, is needed to experience emotionally. And so I tie the breath, right, and 9 specific emotions to the journey that the audience has to go on. And then for the actors, they do all of their work. But I clue them in to what my expectation for the audience is. And then it all works together.
So it sounds like in some ways you're creating an emotional roadmap.
Yes.
For the audience based on the text and then getting the actors involved.
Absolutely. And so I approach each text, whether it's classic or contemporary or poetic, what have you, through the same lens, which is on your feet.
And that's an interesting segue because with this play, I think James is dealing with both the classical contemporary and the way he frames this story, right?
Yes.
By taking Greek mythology and then of course the contemporary situation of what's happening to Black and brown people in this country. Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
and that kind of mashup with the aesthetic of the play?
Completely. Initially, it's kind of like a cognitive dissonance, right? But yeah, the Greek antiquity. I've been using that term, Greek antiquity, using that term a lot. Knowing that everything we do stems from the need for storytelling, the need to continue to ask the questions and try to not just find answers, but ask more questions. And that's why we still read Greek and Shakespeare and all of that. And so I feel like what James is doing is not only tying to the larger audience, right? And encouraging the reach back, right? While being very clear about standing firm in the present. It's joyful, right? Which is where I think this idea around cognitive dissonance comes into play, because you read what the play is about and it's like, oh, why do we have to go there?
Yeah.
James is saying we are there. So how can we remedy? And first, a first attempt at remedying is acknowledging not just the act or the incidents or the realities that Black and brown Americans experience every day, but the witnessing of it and the indictment of not individual people, but as a collective, as a society, right? He's indicting all of us to see what's happening and to want and need to stop it in its tracks.
Yeah, I think audience will be surprised with the joy that's in the piece. And one of the things I think is most beautiful is learning about the humanity of these 4 characters and who they are as people, as opposed to a headline in a newspaper article.
Absolutely. It's important to say their names, right? It is super important. And what we know about this play is that it is in that realm of Black Lives Matter movement work, which is everything about acknowledging humanity, a person's humanity.
Right.
And this is just one way to do it, to see them in the moments before, in their world, having them remember themselves, who they were. And it's more than remembering them as a hashtag, but honoring them at the same time.
And what is your hope for an audience to walk out after experiencing a performance?
Courageous curiosity and an authentic connection to a new kind of empathy.
Yeah, a new kind of empathy. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Danielle.
Thank
it's always
you.
such a pleasure, and I'm always grateful to have you in the building and working here at Rip Stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you.